Okay, let's move on to the first song. And today we're going to do a song by Rob Frank. And what I'll do is I'll do a clip. I'll play a clip. It's only a 10-second clip because we're getting nabbed by the copyright Nazis on YouTube. So, 10-second clip. Hopefully, it'll give you enough of a taste.
Everybody looks the same. Some days everybody has the same name.
Well, there it is. I'm going to be careful. I got to switch it back without starting the wrong thing. Okay, I'm going to make a change. Angela suggested that we switch to full screen mode when we do our little bit last week. So I'm just going to get the Daleks in view over there. All right, and I'm just going to switch to full screen, and I'll do the same with Angela, and hopefully then we won't see each other getting bored when the other's talking. Here we go. Okay. So my selection is Some Days by Rob Frank. Rob, actually, the way I discovered him is he actually contacted me to be to be on the Invisible Man show, which we've booked to dates, and he sent me some songs, and I liked one of them. It just so happened I was looking for a song at that moment, and one popped up in my mailbox. So I listened to the songs, and this one really jumped out at me. So Some Days by Rob Frank, and he's in Ottawa. Let's see if I still have that webpage open. Yeah, so Rob is actually a multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter and producer, and he's an established composer spanning a variety of bands and solo projects. There was something on here that I wanted to read out. Yeah, so while Rob's songs are rooted in rock, his approach to songwriting is often incorporates other styles that create something both unique and authentic. Now, I wanted to read that out specifically because to be fair, I don't really look up Angela's guests before I listen to the song. And this was the first time I'd seen Rob, so I listened or heard of him. So I listened to the song and then I looked it up. So the comments that I make are before I read that. And I thought it fits in very well. So it starts off with a fuzzy introduction. Now, honestly, I can't really... I'm not sure I'm in the right place. There's not enough quite to hear what the chord progressions are, so you're kind of straining a bit, and it fades in fairly quickly, and then you get the full force of the song. Now, it put me in mind that of a camera really high up in a movie. You know, you can see the camera's up, seeing a building down below, and then zooming in, and you can just like hear it like it's on a distant radio, zooming in through the window, and then you're in the studio. So that's what it brought up to me. Even though the song's not about that, that's the image I had when I heard the sounds. Now, all the instruments then coming together with the drums, and that was the drums at first sounded a little bit out of place. So at least it was unexpected, I would say, because it actually sounded like a surfer beat. We got this rock and roll song, and you almost had something that you would hear in the 1960s surfer song with that double tap on the snare. But when I first heard it, the thing that attracted me to it was actually that beat. It was something different. It was something unique. And also, actually, to be fair, the drums also kept my attention. Now, if you listen to the drums throughout, I honestly don't think the drummer takes a breath. He doesn't have a second to take a breath. He's all over the place, and it's not until the end that it slows down that he takes a breath. But listen to those drums. Those drums are absolutely... He's doing everything, and it's with the music. He's not going crazy. He's not doing an animal from the Muppets, if you remember him. He's not all over the place. Obviously very choreographed, it's not the right word, but very planned out. He knows exactly what he's doing, and it sounds absolutely wonderful. Now, when the solo guitar, while being a fast succession of, oh my God, I'm getting ahead of myself here, beg your pardon. Oh, that I'm not, sorry. Yeah, so when there's a guitar solo in there, that's while it's being a fast succession of notes, or arpeggio, as they say. They follow the same pattern. I'm not a big fan of big improvised solos because you don't really know what's coming. But it started off and I thought, it's going to be one of those. But it was the same repeated pattern for each chord change, and it fitted. And by the time we were at the end of that, towards the end of the solo, I knew what was coming. And that actually made it satisfying. I didn't have to guess, where's it going? Is he just showing off? Very skillfully done. And the way that the solo ended as well, it kind of had a nice crescendo as it led in. As it concluded, and gave us a very satisfying conclusion to the end of the solo, straight into the chorus, and we heard that really interesting chorus as well. Now, I really like the way that the melody of the chorus is handled. So rather than it coming back to the roots, as a lot of songs will do, you'll hear that a lot in country music, where it very predictably comes down. It actually goes up, I didn't actually check to see where it goes up, but it didn't quite sound normally where one might go up, and it was just a little bit different, and it was very, very pleasing. And he does that in the middle of the chorus and at the end. So I thought that was very satisfying. But it doesn't quite give that conclusion that you might have if it went down to the roots. But that gave us enough tension to bring us back into the next verse and to continue. Now, there was a bit of a Stairway to Heaven-esque ending. There's a slow succession of notes. And there's a smooth, not that it was a copy by any means, I'm not saying that. But it had a smooth, emotional lead guitar, just very slow notes, just letting us know that the guitar was still there. Now, I think that the ending had a certain power to it, but I think it would have had more impact if that ending reflected the introduction rather than the fade, and maybe have that slow introduction at the beginning to give it a nice bookend. But having said that, I've thoroughly enjoyed the song, which is why we're here. The lyrics are quite straightforward. It's clearly a glimpse into someone who's feeling alienated in a day-to-day routine, as well as with at least one personal relationship. Not dissimilar to what many songs that are coming out now, if not a direct commentary on the last year, is at least influenced by it. And there were some lines in there. The first verse, I think it is. I can go back and confirm which one it was. Yep, the first verse summarizes the song quite nicely, and it just lets you know exactly what the themes are, exactly where it's going. So I think it's very carefully done. Sometimes I think I need a little something. Yeah, just a little something to ease my mind. Something to ease some of the pain and all of the guilt and shame when you are around, which kind of leads it on. Now, I think that the song doesn't really, just kind of tells about a snapshot in someone's life. There's no real start, middle, or end. So it doesn't have a positive ending in that regard. More of an explanation of how that person's feeling. Now, I feel that this song is a song that could very easily cross into other genres, particularly the different beat. I think it could very easily be a 1960s rock pop song. Like, Jerry and the Pacemakers could probably do a version of this song very well. Definitely there's some 80s punk or new wave in there as well, and I'm sure that you can come up with different ideas of different genres where this song could very easily lend itself. And on top of all that, there's actually a lot of room for multi-part harmonies as well. I could just hear some 3 or 4 parts. Mamas and papas maybe joining in on the chorus. Anyhow, I may have gone a bit far with the mama papas thing, but those are my thoughts. Angela.
Wow, Mark. Holy, that was a lot to take in. And I don't know, this according to you, the song sounds like the Beach Boys. It sounds like the Mamas and the Papas. It sounds like Stairway to Heaven. Like, wow. Well, as usual, I'm not going to get too much into the construction of the song or anything technical about the song. That's not really where I'm coming from. But my impression, first of all, Rob Frank has a high-pitched voice. And I mention that because it's very much in contrast to the other song that we're reviewing, where Matt has a low voice. So Rob's got that high-pitched voice. The song to me sounded very punk in the beginning. Anyway, it was definitely a punk song. Meg White on drums, you know what I mean? Like, just really simple, very raw, and then it got weird because I was just enjoying the punk vibe of it and the simplicity of it, and then a little more than halfway through the song, a guitar solo comes in, which was actually really impressive, like a really impressive guitar solo. I was really enjoying that. That showed me some skill there, because there's not a lot of skill in doing a punk song. It's very raw and simple, and just a really good beat and a lot of fun. That's punk, and that's how the beginning of the song started out. And then, weirdly, at the end of the song, as Mark said, it got really dramatic. Like, so much drama closing up the song at the end. So we went from a punk song to a rock song to some kind of soundtrack drama at the end. It's an interesting song. It's about, I can't remember what the timestamp was on it, like 3.5 minutes. So it's kind of long, but it definitely has some depth to it. There's quite a bit going on, but I don't know if the song understands its identity. Seems to kind of be all over the place. Not that that's a bad thing, but it was definitely an interesting thing. So he says, some days it's hard to just be the same. Some days it's hard to not walk away. Okay, I just made the song sound really bad because I don't know how to sing. But those lyrics are just, as Mark said, the 2020 was a weird year. People got quite emotional throughout the year, and the lyrics and songs seem to speak to that, only because we know when it was written, right? So we're imagining that. So maybe we know too much knowing when it was written, but it kind of sounded that way to me. And the thing that I wanted to point out, because I kind of listen to these songs and review these songs while I'm doing things around the house, and I'm just playing it over the speaker. Because the song started out so simple, I'm thinking, telling a story in a music video, or telling a story on a soundtrack in a movie. It kind of had that vibe to it. It was, it seemed, the lyrics weren't complicated, but it sounded like it was telling some kind of a story. So anyway, overall, I'll leave it at that. I really like the song. I found it complicated, which makes me want to listen to it again. And it was well done. Well done, Rob Frank. Oh, by the way, Rob Frank, according to Mark, is from Ottawa, Ontario. So yeah, support indie music, guys, for sure. I got to figure out where the camera is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to correct that for the English viewers. She meant to do that.
Oh.
It's just her.
Oh.
It's her Canadian accent. It just sounded rude.
Okay. What's the difference? I don't know what the difference is.
Well, this one. Well, that one. If you take this finger away, would mean the same thing in England. Oh, damn it! Oh, we just got censored. Sorry, everybody. Family show.
Mark.
Family show. Well, you did it to the English viewers. Okay. And probably the Australian and the South African viewers, and everywhere. But
just pretend you were showing your boo-boo on your finger.
Indeed. Yes, that was what it was. Yeah, I was looking at it. It looked fine from where I was looking my angle. Okay,
right.
Let's. We often forget this, but let's do the instead of leaving all the comments to the end. Let's do the comments for the Song Club members now. Let's do that. That's probably the best way to do it.
Okay.
So Ron Zaragoza, I'm going to read these in the order that they came in. So I know Ron, I saw, is going to contradict himself in a second, but well, not really. But so Ron Zaragoza says, positive vibe in the song, vocals popped out nicely. I also like the band artwork. Ron seemed to like the helicopter view, or my big camera view, I think was what I was saying. And then Ron replies saying, never mind the positive vibe, I didn't have the lyrics in front of me. Yeah, of course. Just listening to the song, obviously I listened to it again and again, and Rob sent me the lyrics, so I had them in front of me. But yes, that was definitely a very positive vibe to the music. But it kind of works, I think. It kind of works now once you've had go look at the lyrics again. Anyhow, I've done my analysis. It's their turn. Right. Shalim says, Mark, amazing analysis. Thank you, Shalim. And I read that out for obvious reasons. Okay, so Shalim has got... Okay, so some days, explosive rock and roll, catchy, well-produced. There's a sense of dynamic range, especially as a song gets dramatically quiet toward the end. Doesn't sound exactly like what commercial radio plays, and that's a good thing. So long as indie radio plays it, you can get a digital... Oh, and then he's put the link in to where you can get the digital download on Amazon and iTunes.